Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dratnos' Mod Primers for the Technic pack. So today I thought I'd go over all of the kind of little mods that sort of tweak the basics of Technic, but don't really add more than one item or do some interface changes or stuff like that. So the mods I'm going to be looking at today, the first one is called Somnia. Somnia is part of the Technic pack. Basically, what it lets you do is when you sleep, you are able to choose to reset your spawn or not, and it'll let you sleep during the day until dusk, or at night until dawn. Hit yes, it'll just start simulating the world. Normally it'll do it faster than 1.2 times regular speed. For me it's usually about 20 times or 16 times. But it's obviously going to be a bit slower because right now I'm recording and that's using up most of my computer magic power, dust, redstone thing. So that's... But it's actually simulating the world around me, and stuff will still happen. Mobs will attack me if I'm out in the open. Things will happen, plants will grow, all that exciting stuff that doesn't normally happen during sleep time. So if you have like a complex machine, you can just sleep through days and nights and have it automatically work for you, which is pretty cool. It's good fit with the Technic pack. So the second set of mods I'm going to look at are not enough items, convenient inventory, and inventory tweaks. And together, they basically are this dream team of awesomeness for your inventory. So, not enough items is all the stuff you see around my inventory here. And what it does is it lets you look through every block available to you. All of them. Like, see all of these. Every single one. For the most part. There might be one or two that it doesn't have because they're weird. I know there are a few, like, interstitial blocks that it doesn't have, but otherwise it'll have the vast majority of them, and even some that you wouldn't expect to see. So that's pretty awesome. You can even spawn in like fire or mob spawners of all different types. Like I could get a shark spawner if I wanted, but since I don't want to die, I'm not going to spawn sharks. So that's great. And you can't normally spawn things in Technic because by default, cheat mode is not enabled. Usually it's on recipe mode, and you can't actually switch it to cheat mode unless you go in and edit one of the configuration files, which you can find in your .technic SSP, or .technic launcher, then technic SSP, then config, then nei.config, or nei.dat. And if you just go in there, and it'll be one of the first items, just change true to false, and you'll be able to toggle this. But cheat mode, basically, and then if you have extra cheats enabled, will let you do a bunch of things. You can delete items. If I want to delete a stack of cobblestone, I can just move it to that trash can up there. If I wanted to delete a whole stack of cobblestone, I can just hold shift, delete all cobblestone. And if I just toggle this, I can turn delete on and off. And if I shift click it, it'll delete all of my items in my inventory. It also has save states, so if you want, you could save what you currently have in your inventory and then load it up if you change. So like I could load up this inventory state and then back to this inventory state. And you can also delete loads just by hitting the X next to them. So that's pretty useful. These are saved between games as well, between like times that you play. Item subsets lets you just find quickly stuff. Like so, and also it interfaces with red power. So you can instantly find the kind of items you're looking for. Like if you want to go for a stone anode, you can very quickly just get there by using that. So that's pretty cool. It helps you figure out what things are and how they work. Nope. 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 See? Very easy to look through them in a categorical fashion instead of just in block ID order, like over here. Creative mode basically lets you toggle creative and not creative. Pretty awesome. Rain lets you turn rain on and off. Magnet mode basically is like... Okay, magnet mode, that should be coming towards me, but maybe it just drops from mods. You can set the time very easily, and you can instant heal yourself. So that's those are all the not enough items things. You can also... there are a couple different things you can do here. You can hide different things. You can set it to behave a bit differently. You can even disable it if you want. And you can also set the controls. So here are some of the other things you can do with it. You can, if you have an enchantment table, you can automatically basically set it up to enchant whatever you want as long as you have the levels for it. So you don't have to play this guessing game and keep re-clicking things in until you find something the right size. You can also hit O to toggle all of that stuff, or on or off. And if you want to figure out how to craft something, like, say I want to figure out how to make what do I want to know how to make? What if I want to make a project table? I can hit R over it, and it'll tell me how to make a project table. And then if I want to know, say, for example, what uses a chest has, I can hit U while moused over a chest, and it'll tell me all of the shaped crafting available for it, all 13 pages of that, all of the fuel uses it has, all of the shaped IC2 crafting it has, and any other, like, shapeless crafting it has, or any other kind of crafting that you can do with it. It doesn't interface with Thaumcraft, but otherwise it works pretty well, and shows you pretty much everything you can do with stuff. And it even puts, you know, IC2 in its own little area here. So that's always pretty useful. It's very good. Then you can figure out how to make all the Industrial Craft 2 stuff pretty easily. You can, you know, go through all this, figure out basically everything until you get back down to your base level that you know how to get there yourself. So that's pretty useful. Then if we make ourselves a crafting table very briefly here, a regular old crafting table, and we just plonk that down, and say you're interested in, for example, creating, I don't know, say you want to make a wooden pickaxe, but you don't know how, you could hit, you could either memorize this recipe, or you could hit this question mark button, and it'll put a ghost of it there for you. So now I can very easily make my wooden crafting, or wooden pick just by filling in that recipe. Nice and easy. And then I promptly delete that, because who needs a wooden pickaxe? But yes, that is another cool functionality. Now, convenient inventory and inventory tweaks have some overlap, and they also have some conflicts. So you hit here, you'll see there's a bit of stuff like that is disabled because they're both installed. But and you can go in and you can modify which things are on, which things are off. But the basics are, you can automatically sort your inventory by hitting R. Ooh, not R. Yeah, R. That'll also conflict a little bit with the NEI thing and telling you how to make stuff. But yeah, if I put this here and then hit R, it'll just sort them into the order predefined. You can actually go in and modify the config file for that. And then if, for example, I wanted to, say, sort items in a chest very easily, just plonk down a chest, and you'll notice here that it's got all of these different ways you can sort it. That's basically sort them in a Z pattern, so that is go across, then down, then across. A vertical pattern, which is to fill like that, or a horizontal pattern, which is doot, doot, doot. So yes, that, or Z is actually doot, 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 doot. So that's how that works, if that made any sense for you. So those are pretty much the inventory mods for Technic. Now it's important to note that some items share block IDs, so they work a bit weird. So for example, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all share the same block ID, and you'll notice, like, when I shift-click that in, it does some weird stuff with placement. Shift-click them back to my inventory, it does some weird stuff. For the most part, that's not going to affect you. But if, for example, you try to do that, you'll notice when I shift-clicked that in, it didn't add it to the Emerald stack automatically. That's just one thing that you have to watch out for sometimes. A lot of the red power things have the same block ID, which normally isn't a big problem, but there's a bit of an issue with these mods. So, what's this thing in the middle here? This is a crafting table number 2, and it's basically taking the ease of NEI crafting and upgrading it. Upgrading it by just letting you see everything you can craft with what you've currently got in your inventory right here. And it'll tell you what the material costs are if you look over to the left. And it tells you the description for it. Some of these items, like different mods, don't actually have all that much description thing. It'll tell you the code name at the bottom, and it'll tell you what resources it'll cost you at the top right of that little thing right there. So that's very useful. Crafting table 2, certainly pretty cool. However, if you, for example, want to craft something and you don't know how, it's better to just use NEI with a regular crafting table and get yourself there that way. So they don't, this doesn't completely replace this, but they're both good, and depending on your style, you might prefer one over the other, and for most things, either can be used with about the same efficiency. So, there's another mod called Mo Creatures that adds all of these exciting things like bears over there, leopards over there. It also adds horses, which, if I go ahead and create a horse spawner, boop. Horses are pretty awesome. I'll go ahead and delete that spawner now. Boop. And delete the extra spawners. Horses, you can ride them. You can also, there are Pegasus versions of them. There are pack horses that either you can breed or you can find. All of the Mo Creature stuff is pretty basic and self-explanatory, so I'm not going to do that much. But I will show you how to tame a horse. So in order to tame a horse, you need to feed it some bread or some wheat or an apple. and a different amount of bread or wheat in an apple based on how rare the species is. This is the most common horse. This is a brown horse. I can just feed it some bread by right-clicking here. And eventually, now it's probably got enough to be tamed. If I use a horse saddle, which isn't a regular saddle, note, you need to add some iron or use some leather. Plonk it on there. I can now ride the horse. Very nice, eh? Yes. Unfortunately, ooh, it's still not quite tame, so let's feed it some more bread until it is. Come on. Yay, now I can name it. I've overfed it, of course, more than I needed to. And we'll name this, Derperia. No, Derpulus. So yes, now I have a horse named Derpulus that'll, carry me forth to battle at a nice increased speed. If you get a Pegasus, you can fly, but Pegasi are, of course, rarer than regular horses. So yes, there's me and a horse. Pretty awesome. There's the view from the front. Of course, I'm wearing some advanced armor that is equivalent exchange that I'll get to in a few episodes of this. So, let me go ahead and hop off. If I can remember exactly how to hop off. Which I can't. Can't seem to remember that right now. Oops. I've dropped my sword. Okay, got it back. Got it back. How do I get off you, horse? Alright, I guess I'm going to... I know there's a button for getting off horses, but I'm just going to go ahead and kill the horse. Ooh. Okay. How do we kill you, horse? Oh, let's run you into lava. That seems like a good idea. So yes, there is a button for getting off horses, but I have absolutely forgotten it here. So let's do the humane thing and fire. Come on, there it is. Horse is down. And we're slightly on fire now, but that's no biggie. Everybody is slightly on fire from time to time. It's a natural occurrence in Minecraft. If I didn't have such awesome armor, I would be moderately dead. And also, if I wasn't on Peaceful, I would be moderately dead. That's not a problem. I am on Peaceful. So, the next few small mods. Another one, you see I have a map here. Now, maps are great, but sometimes you want, like, a war room with a map in the middle. So, there's a mod called Hangable Maps that lets you, surprise, surprise, hang maps on stuff just by right-clicking. Very easy. You can hang maps on walls. You can stick them, like, on things like that. You can even, if we go ahead and get some wooden planks here... Doot, 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 doot. You can even hang them on the underside of things, like that. And if you want to go to sleep looking at your map of the world. There's also that map changes things. Even though I created this map here, it's not centered on this location. It'll actually predefine grids of the world, and then automatically just set you up in whichever part of that grid you're in, which makes it easier to, for example, get like 4 of these and have a collage of maps. You don't have to precisely make sure that you're standing at the right block when you center it. It'll automatically pick one that will be compatible with other maps formed with similar areas. So yes, pretty cool, pretty awesome stuff. It'll also give you a you are here indicator. You can see it doesn't move around as I move around. It just is there where it is, and it's pointing where it's pointing, which is it's pretty fantastic. Points in that way. Quite. So that's Hangable Maps. Another mod you'll hear about in the Technic pack is called Optifine. You're not actually going to see Optifine in action very much, but it is there, and it basically improves the rendering of the game. However, there are sometimes little bugs with it, but it's worth it. It speeds up your game usually. And some computers have weird compatibility issues with that, so don't use Optifine. You can get the Optifine less build of Technic by checking through the options in the Technic launcher. So that's pretty cool. Now another mod is called Matmos. And this is a mod that most people hate, and I am one of them. So Matmos adds ambient noise to the world. If I just go run around here, you'll start hearing some annoying ambient noise, probably. But you can change your Matmos sound very easily, and in fact, turn it off completely, just by holding F7 and looking down at the ground. So do that, because Matmos will kill you if you don't. Like, it'll kill you with annoyance and sounds. It adds, like, crickets chirping at night, and it'll make you want to gouge some people's eyes out. It's good if you want to be immersed in the game, but only if you're... Yeah, you need to have a certain mood, like a slightly self-harmful mood to play it. It's a good idea, but it's pretty poorly executed, in my opinion, because the sounds just start grating. The sounds run fingernails down the blackboard of my soul. So yes, that's that. Another exciting mod is called Tomes. Tomes lets you create tomes, and it's you see the title there of this tome is Derpicus. If you right-click, the first line of whatever you write in, I can just write Adaha here, becomes the title. See? See, that's become there. And you can easily edit your tome. You can add as many pages as you want. If you want, you can pause the video and read Derpicus here. I could read it aloud for you, but I'm not going to. Oh, fine. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. You can read it yourselves. I'm sure you can all read. I'm sure most of you can read. Actually, from many of the comments, I'm not sure many of you can read. You might want to get on that. Reading's useful. So, the Tomes mod also adds the XP book mod. And XP books, basically, when created, will store half of your XP. Now, I don't have any XP because I haven't been, killing stuff, but if I run over here and kill a bear... Hello, bear. How are you today? You're killed. Oh, that's a shame. Normally they'd fight back, but I'm on peaceful. And you'll see there I've gained 5 bars of XP, which I think is 5 units of XP at this level. And if I go ahead and just create myself an XP book... Oh. Oops. Of course, but if I made one with the recipe, which I can, with a book and some gold... So if I grab a book... and some gold... Gold ingot, there we go. And using my crafting table too, I can make an XP book. Bling! It now stores half of my current level's XP. And, unfortunately, half of my current level's XP would be, nothing because I'm level 0. But once I leveled up, it would store half of that, and then I could just right-click and hold to eat that XP and regain it. So you can store your XP that way. It'll store half your XP based on your level, not based on your current XP. So even though I have some XP right now, I'm only level 0, so it doesn't store anything. So that's that. The last mod I wanted to take a look at, let me go ahead and set this to nice high noon, is a mod called Treecapitator. Treecapitator is pretty awesome. You'll probably find it out by yourself. But basically, if you cut down any tree, it'll treecapitate it. And treecapitate is a nice word for make it die. A horrible and painful death. So any naturally spawned tree, besides the rubber trees added by Red Power or Industrial Craft, you can just take any block and knock them down with an axe, and it'll fall like that. However, if you don't use an axe, if you just use a torch or your bare fists or anything, it won't do that. So it's important that you do that. And it'll recognize parts of trees, but if you place the logs yourself, it's like if we place these very same logs in the very same positions, oh, it does recognize them. It didn't used to do that. So yeah, if you have anything remotely tree-shaped and you take an axe to it, I recommend not doing that. If you're using, like, logs, be very careful, because you might treecapitate your whole house if you place one block awry and remove it with an axe. That's your top tip for the day. Be very careful when creating tree-shaped things to not destroy them with Treecapitator. So I believe that's the majority of small mods in Technic. Another mod's called Better Dungeons. You'll just find random structures with different monsters guarding them throughout the world. That's, another cool mod. I'm not going to show you it. It's intuitive. It's very easy to find out. It's a lot like Mo Creatures. It doesn't have a complex system of stuff in it. You'll find that exploring by yourself. You can see in Season 2 of my Let's Play, Season 2, Episode 4 of my Let's Play, I actually find one of those and mistake it for a stronghold. So yes, thanks everybody for watching. I'm glad that you've learned a bit more about some of the key frameworks behind the Technic pack. Next episode, I'm not sure which mod we'll do. I'm thinking forestry, but I'm not sure. I will decide. Also, if you're watching this and it's current and it's, you're currently watching it, it's early March 2012. Next Let's Play episode will be in a few days. I'm not sure when. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be good. However, if it's a small one and it's bad, I didn't say that. Thanks everybody for watching. Please subscribe if you like this. Please subscribe if you like this. Goodbye. This has been Dratnos. Okay, I messed that up. I'm going to go ahead and redo my outro. So let's go ahead and rewind. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember to subscribe if you liked this. My name has been Dratnos. Goodbye. And now I'm going to hit the goodbye button for real because I missed it once more. Wow, this has just been a comedy of errors as far as ending the episode goes. I hope you're all not too bored. I hope you haven't exited the YouTube window already. You might want to if you're still listening. I'm not entirely sure why you're still listening, but don't stop it. Stop it. Just oh my god, you guys just don't listen, do you? No, you don't. That's quite annoying. Oh, look at Kitty. Ah, goodbye.